What's up, guys? I'm gonna do a video on the MVC strategy. This is kind of new to me, so I've just been back testing it for a couple weeks, and now just rolling out. MVC stands for Most Valuable Contract. It's gonna be with SPX. The main thing I do is take 3 certain time frames: 9:45, 10:30, just in case there's 10 o'clock data that completely swings the market, and then 12 o'clock noon. For kind of the end of the day, see if anything reverses from there. So when these times hit is when I look at gamma and determine what the most valuable contract is. Yes, you could do it throughout the day, but I've just been noticing that these 3 times have been given a very good high-low pivot, direction overall in the market. So we're just gonna go through the week and show you how I do it and how to use it to your advantage. So Monday, right here, we're gonna look for the 9:45. So we go over to I use Quant Data, very good program, and I have the time slider here. This is back data. We're gonna go 9:45, and what I do is just look for the contract that has the most gamma exposure, whether it's positive, negative. Honestly, I did my time trying to learn what gamma was, and I kind of like overanalyzed. So this strategy is very good at kind of dumbing it down using just one level to see where that level goes. So right here we have 428 gamma. Highest gamma level is 5590. So at 9:45 on Monday, which was almost basically the top, we had what did we have? 5590. Which is up there. I think Monday and Tuesday weren't the best for the first one, but that's what we had for that at 9 o'clock or 9:45. Which, if we took a call, would have been good. Go ahead and bring it over to we'll just watch. Go to 10. At 10 o'clock, we still have 5550. 5590 kind of decreased, so kind of watching this is probably where I would have gotten out. As you can tell, it kind of decreased and we're kind of growing 5400. We go to 10:30 another time. We have 5550. 10:30. So once again, that probably wasn't the best one, because 10 o'clock would have been 10:30 would have been right here. You would have caught a little move up, but overall, these 2 really didn't work out. But later in the week, they hit to a T. So some days you have it, some days you don't. This basically, if you're a trader, the trend didn't really break down. So let's go ahead and look at noon. Just kind of keep going on these. I didn't really want to pick days that are perfect, so that's the expectations. So here you kind of have 5460 at minus 373 million, and then 5550 upside. So at noon would be right here, horizontal line. gonna be right there. We could kind of like the lower side is 5460. Is right here. You know, we head towards that lower, and then we started that reverse back up to that 5550. That would have been the play. 12 o'clock, slow grind up. You know, with risk management. Of course, you know, if you have good risk management, that's the main key. Go on to the next day, since that day really wasn't the best one. We'll just go Monday through Friday. We'll go back to 9:45. 5570, another kind of higher one. Right here, right off the open. Let's see what 945 is. 945 right here. You would have got SPX calls, SPY calls. You probably would have profited with a nice low average down, profited. And if you got a couple days out, you know, you would have went with that strike on SPY. I need to back test like the distance from the current price to where most valuable contract is, to see if, you know, if the distance is farther apart, does it make, you know, let add 30. 1030 switch to 5550. 1030 kind of moved down. $10.30 was basically the low right here. So that 1030 hit perfectly. You know, SPX SPY, especially later in the day, these most valuable contracts really help out. 12. Honestly, 12 is better. 1 o'clock better. I kind of do after lunch. 5570, so it's back up to the 5570. So that basically all three of those were pretty on point. Go ahead and do Wednesday. I noticed kind of like in our sell-off, Gamma was like 945 one was way to the upside. And like realistically, I'm like, okay, we're selling off because of news. We're not gonna hit that game. I kind of threw it off. 5570. They're all kind of like 5570, which is kind of like opening my eye. Like the exposure's above. So what are we gonna eventually do? Head back up. You could chat GPT what Gamma is and all that. I'm not the best expert at it. I just kind of dumbed it down to this. So your 945 one is pretty solid. We hit it end of day. Of course, we had to get a good strike. Probably 5560. That probably would have been nice in the money. In the money call. That's 12. My bad. 12 o'clock is that. 945 was 5400. Move this over. I'd rather do this live, have it all marked up. So 945 was saying down. 5400, you know, there's a reversal. It's gonna be like, okay, I'm not looking for 5400 anymore. You know, you were here 400, you've been a little bit in the money, and then you would have been stopped out, probably break even. The 945 ones are tough because you have the 10 o'clock data, and SPX is very expensive at that time because all the data that they paid. 1030, let's see what it did in between those. Until it flipped up to 5570. 1030, you know, exposure site was saying it was. We got Thursday. I think Thursday was a 5650. Afternoon. Usually I have each time up better. Highest one 5610. 9:30. That was basically the pivot for the day. All that held that support basically all day. Because you had, it was below price. I was a gamma below price, 6610, and like 650 was side. It was right here. So it's basically ranged in between all those. 10:30. $56.50, so it did pop up. $56.50 for the next two. And that's where, you know, hit it. You know, we can either pivot off of it, break through, continue, or reverse, and that's what we did. Kind of a nice resistance. And Friday, I think Friday was the same as Thursday. Like the first one wasn't far away. Obviously, when they're not far away, I'm not really looking at like it was the downside. Yeah, 56.50 and then 5,700 plus mine. So 56.50, I'm not really looking at a huge. You know, it's right. 45. No. Up here, yeah, you could have caught a nice little quick play, but we're not really far away. The risk reward is really not there. We could go down and continue, but based on all these in the past, we've kind of flipped up. I don't think it's gone. I don't think there's many days where it's gone like 56.50, 5,600, and then like 55. It's just continue sell off. This probably strategy probably works well on kind of choppy days. 10:30, 10:30 flipped up to 5,700. So if, you know, you went one day out, buy at 10:30, buy here, you still would have been pretty decent. 20 points up, not far. You're only 20 points away from overall. Now I think noon pointed it down again. Oh, it's still 5,700. Yeah, but noon right here. All the exposure was 5,700. Risk to reward's not there to only move up 5,700. Only move up a little bit. Just basically got chopped out. So I'm gonna keep alerting these. 9:45, 10:30, noon. People have asked like, what's the 2 o'clock most valuable contract? I'm not gonna go into different time frames unless I see a pattern. That's why I'm kind of sticking at 9:45. That's kind of like where the open is. 10:30 is a good time, maybe after data. 1 hour, you know, initial balance is done, and then noon's kind of towards the end. Might do a little bit of the maybe like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Most valuable contract for the kind of end of the day session. But I've been noticing even at like 3 to 4, exposure changes so fast that 1 minute it could be up, 1 minute down. So there's really no telling to do it. But that's overall the most valuable contract strategy. It's amazing with futures because you know you're not really worrying about what contract, paying extra price on XPX early day to kind of take it up. You know, you're just playing, you know, the $1 game. But I'm kind of looking into like selling credit spreads, like take advantage of all this or butterflies or doing something. But appreciate you guys. I will keep throwing out those most valuable contracts. It's been spot on. It's been beautiful. It's been helping my trading 100 times better. Hit that like button and subscribe.